Picture this, a vibrant marketplace in the heart of New York City, suddenly transformed into a scene straight out of a high-stakes drama, with federal agents descending to enforce the law. It's the kind of event that sparks heated debates and leaves you wondering about the balance between commerce, immigration, and public order. But here's where it gets controversial. Was this crackdown really just about counterfeit goods? Or could it hint at broader immigration concerns? And this is the part most people miss, the role of local authorities in navigating these tense situations. Let's dive into the details of what unfolded on Canal Street, breaking it down step by step to make it clear and accessible, even if you're new to these kinds of stories. On October 21, 2025, at 7:06 p.m., federal officials executed a coordinated operation led by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. That's the U.S. government agency responsible for border security, immigration enforcement, and combating illegal activities like smuggling, in New York City's bustling Chinatown district. Specifically, the action took place on Canal Street, a well-known shopping hotspot in Lower Manhattan where tourists and locals flock for everything from fresh produce to trendy accessories. For beginners, think of Canal Street as a lively outdoor market, but one that's notorious for vendors offering imitation designer goods, like knockoff handbags or watches that mimic luxury brands without permission. These items aren't just harmless copies, they're part of a grey market trade that can involve intellectual property theft and fund other illicit activities. Eyewitnesses and reports from ABC's New York affiliate, WABC, described a heavy police presence as sellers hastily dismantled their stalls and tried to escape the area. According to Tricia McLaughlin, Assistant Secretary for the Department of Homeland Security, the initiative was a targeted, intelligence-driven enforcement effort aimed squarely at criminal behavior tied to the sale of counterfeit products. It's worth explaining that counterfeit goods aren't only about deceiving shoppers. They can pose safety risks. Think fake electronics that might catch fire and undermine legitimate businesses that invest in real innovation. McLaughlin added that specifics about any arrests would be shared as soon as they became available, emphasizing the operation's precision in addressing this particular crime. But here's where the story takes a heated turn. Following the raid, demonstrators assembled in the vicinity, voicing their discontent. McLaughlin's statement highlighted a darker side, noting that one individual, labeled a rioter, was taken into custody for assaulting a federal officer. She described the protesters as disruptive, with some hurling profanities, turning aggressive, impeding police work by obstructing vehicles, and even physically confronting law enforcement. This raises intriguing questions. When does peaceful protest cross into unlawful interference? And does labeling someone a rioter automatically justify an arrest? Or could it be seen as an overreaction in a city known for its spirited demonstrations? In response to the gathering crowd, high-ranking city officials from City Hall arrived on location to oversee the events and ensure things didn't spiral further. A City Hall spokesperson told ABC News that they were still collecting more information about the federal action in Manhattan's Canal Street that afternoon. Crucially, they reiterated a firm policy. New York City does not participate with federal authorities on matters related to civil deportations, adhering to local statutes that prioritize compassion over collaboration in such scenarios. They also stressed that the NYPD played no part in the operation. Echoing Mayor Eric Adams' philosophy, the statement underscored that resources should target dangerous criminals rather than focusing on undocumented immigrants striving to achieve the American dream. Think of it as a commitment to welcoming newcomers who contribute to the city's vibrant economy, from street vendors to essential workers. A confidential source close to the matter revealed to ABC News that, should tensions rise and someone physically attacks or hinders a lawful enforcement activity, Mayor Adams has directed the New York City Police Department to step in and mediate. This adds another layer of complexity. In a sprawling metropolis like New York, where federal and local jurisdictions sometimes clash, how do we ensure harmony without compromising safety or rights? Earlier that day, the NYPD took to X, formerly Twitter, to clarify their stance, stating unequivocally that they had no involvement in the federal operation that took place on Canal Street this afternoon. This declaration helps demystify the separation of powers, showing how city police often stand aside in federal matters to avoid jurisdictional conflicts. As this incident continues to evolve, it's a reminder of the delicate interplay between enforcing national laws like those against counterfeiting and respecting local values that champion inclusivity. But what do you think? Is this operation a necessary crackdown on illegal trade, or does it unfairly target vulnerable communities? Could the protests be a valid expression of dissent, or do they go too far when they obstruct justice? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with Mayor Adams' focus on violent crime, or should immigration enforcement play a bigger role? Let's discuss and unpack this together.